You open the fridge, there's nothing there. So what's it gonna be? Greasy pizza? Sad drive-thru burgers? Dish by Blue Apron is for nights like that. These are the pre-made meals of your dreams. At least 20 grams of protein, no artificial flavors or colors, no chopping, no cleanup, no guilt. Keep the flavor. Ditch the subscription. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
Well, that's 2 hours of our life. None of us are getting back, I guess. But Ollie's magical Reds march on with inevitable destination of a semi-final loss on the horizon.
Seems like it. Semi-final in front of fans? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Don't jinx it. That'd only be April, so probably not.
The thing is, a bit like when you said don't jinx it when we were talking about the league title, it's like it's not at jinx territory yet. It's not jinxing it to say there might be a semi-final in front of fans, because it's just remarkably unlikely as far as I'm concerned at this point.
Yes. What was remarkably unlikely was United putting in a fluid performance with 8 or 9 changes? It was a lot anyway.
15 good minutes at the beginning of the match, so I hear. I paid scant attention to this one. I was doing other things while it was on.
Yeah. It's just, it's the simple stuff, really. When you're playing a team that's not as good as you, just move the ball quickly and you'll get them out of shape, and that's how they beat them. And United did that for 15 minutes. Watford actually defended all right, I thought, for much of that first half. And then basically never again in the match did United actually do the things you really have to do to put a lower division side under pressure. And by the way, this is a Watford side that came in having rested a bunch of their players too, as we thought they might do on the last podcast, because they've got more important things in the FA Cup. United do have more important things in the FA Cup, but not much. There's finishing as high up the table as possible. But after
winning
that,
the league, pal, 21 in 21. We've got bigger fish to fry than the FA Cup.
Sure. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Totes. But anyway, yeah. So I think we got the performance that was we probably expected. There's been times in Ollie's reign when he's made a lot of changes and we've got a really disjointed performance, and it wasn't that. Right? This wasn't bad, was it? It's just it wasn't fluid enough to break down a Watford side that defended reasonably well.
It's about quality, isn't it? Like the changes. It was notable that Mata and Van der Beek moved the ball around considerably better than the other players that came into the side. Naming no names. But the other players that came into the side.
Name names.
Well,
name names.
Go on. I don't like having a go at a young player making his way in the game.
Yeah, but Jesse Lingard, he hasn't had minutes, so you can excuse him. Sorry, that's route one. That's a route one joke.
I like it though.
Really
I did like it though, because the thing about Lingard is, something's happened, hasn't it? Because not that he was by any means the kind of complete package, but he definitely had something, and that seems to have kind of really taken a battering in the last couple of years. James, on the other hand, it remains remarkably unclear whether he has anything or not. It's.
I'd go far as to say it's quite clear that he doesn't have the thing, whatever the thing is. Unfortunately, we've seen him a lot now. This is not a young player we've not seen very much, or say like maybe Mason Greenwood, a young player who's done well and now is having a bit of second season syndrome. This is a young player who's really never done very well at all, ever, for United, save for 2 games at the beginning of last season.
Well, I can't remember the numbers, but I don't remember his Swansea career being stellar either. So he has got a wonder goal in him once in a blue moon, but that's not I mean, listen, a lot can change, but if it turns out that Dan James is the level, I'll be really surprised. It seems very evident he's not. A player that many, many, many people feel similarly about, and I think nowhere near justifiably so, given what we have seen from him, is the captain of the first half of that game, Scott McTominay. An interesting decision to give McTominay the armband. I guess you could have gone with Juan Mata for seniority. That's pretty much the only option, I guess.
Well, he gave Axel Tuanzebe the captaincy in, who was the game against? Rochdale, was it? I think
Rings
it was
a bell,
his
yeah.
hometown team, and that's part of the reason. It's one of the reasons I think Ollie does like a sentimental decision now and again.
Yes, he does. And nothing wrong with that.
No, I guess not. Yeah. I mean, Alex Ferguson did that now and again too, didn't he?
Oh yeah, it's the pure rational is greatly overrated in Western society.
Anyway, Solskjaer said about McTominay that he wanted to test him to see if there would be a reaction at all to having the armband, and I guess there was. He leapt like something for that corner and pulled off a terrible header, which is in fact so bad that it did the keeper in the top corner.
And that was the only goal of the game. I guess you wouldn't have thought at that point that it was likely to be the only goal of the game. The back four was kind of interesting. It's actually, there's an argument to say that I'm not talking about form, like Shaw's playing really well at the moment, but there's an argument to say that Williams, Tuanzebe, Bailly and Tellez is actually like a back four that has that you could argue each of those people offer something that their first team, the player that they're replacing in the first 11 doesn't. I guess.
Yeah.
So Bailly obviously got clattered by Dean Henderson because, 5 games for Eric Bailly in a row without something absolutely disastrous happening is impossible. But I guess the fact that Lindelof played alongside Maguire in the semi-final and Bailly played this, unless Solskjaer was thinking I'm going to play one of my first choice in each of these games, it does sort of indicate that maybe Bailly's little run in the first team was out of necessity and to do with Lindelof's fitness rather than the thing it should be about, which is Bailly should be first choice.
That's right. I mean, we spoke about this, didn't we? This match being the test of whether Bailly was first choice or not. And I tend to agree with you. I suspect he's, the next choice. It's tragic for him because he's got so much to offer, as we've talked about. I mean, it's not far from the perfect central defender. I'm not saying he's the solution to all United's defensive problems, but his pace is just... His pace and his enthusiasm, his ability to turn, his mobility, it all offers so much more than Lindelof. The only argument for Lindelof is his distribution, and Bailly's isn't bad,
no,
right? It's not like it's, we're talking chalk and cheese here.
No, it's not Chris Smalling.
Bailly's is not bad at all. So
no, exactly.
Yeah, and it's a real shame. I mean, fortunately, Solskjaer said it wasn't a concussion. It's not a head injury. It was in the neck, so it's pretty serious, isn't it? I mean, it's really serious. Yeah. So, and they followed. They did the protocol. Medical people said he should come off, and followed it to the letter. And I'm sure that if there's any suspect concussion, he'll be kept away for the 14 days, and we'll see. Right, we'll see.
Yeah, because...
but if it is just a bang and they're being super, super careful, well, good on the medical staff and he'll be back soon.
I mean, it's good. Definitely, obviously good on the medical staff anyway, and Bailly wanted to come back on and didn't. That's good. Solskjaer saying it's not a concussion, it's like, well, all right, we don't know that it's a concussion yet. I mean, Steve Smith came back out to bat after Jofra whacked him in the Ashes, and then was out, missed the next test match, didn't come back out the next day and missed the next test match because he was, concussed.
Yeah, I mean, I may be doing Ollie a disservice there because I think he qualified that.
Right, okay, great.
So I think he qualified that if I remember correctly. So, yes, rather than sort of stating that it is definitely not. But anyway, look, fingers crossed, Bailly's okay. Yeah. There's no lasting damage. There's no fractures, and I'm sure they'll treat this with the seriousness that it deserves.
Yeah.
But anyway, to come back to your main point about the back four, yeah, absolutely. And I think it's nice that there's quality in depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and there's question marks over all these players for various different reasons. Of course, back five, right? But it's not like there aren't question marks over the first choice back five either. And so having that depth, hopefully, we'll be able to find the right kind of balance that isn't going to make even though United's defensive record is pretty good over Ollie's time, it is going to be able to allow United to play 1v1 at the back much more often than we do, which will give us much more freedom going forwards.
Yeah.
And that's, it's just a really important shift in balance, I think, that they're trying to find, but they can't do it in Maguire and Lindelof. It's unthinkable that you could do in the way that Ferguson's team does or Klopp's team does now, go 1v1 in defensive situations with those two. So, whereas Tuanzebe and Bailly, in theory, you could, because they're both quick across the ground, and especially on the turn. And Williams, he's had a hard season, needs time, needs games, but we know his talent. And Telles we're still trying to find something out about, but he had a good game. He had a good game against Watford, and his delivery is very good, and that offers something very different to Shaw.
Yeah, and it's good options, isn't it? It's all good options. So I want to caveat this by saying none of this is intended as a future prediction of where he's going to end up or anything, but I just thought it'd be sort of relevant to have a conversation about sort of first impressions of Dean Henderson. Two different people, both of whom shall remain nameless, two different people mentioned to me yesterday, got a touch of the Pickfords about him, in the sense of they said this independently, that kind of feeling of wanting to be involved, that kind of a lot of very aggressive posturing and all that sort of thing. I have to say,
yeah, or the Joe Harts,
yeah, exactly.
With that. Yes,
exactly.
I mean he's confident, and I don't think that's a bad thing in a goalkeeper. And it's been noted previously, hasn't it? Now, whether that translates to his decision making and overall performance on the pitch, I don't know yet. I mean, I think the mistake he made against Sheffield United has got nothing to do with sort of overconfidence at all. It was honestly, if Maguire had just kicked that into row Z, as he probably should have done, or actually found a forward pass, then we wouldn't got ourselves in that kind of trouble. And Henderson didn't take a very confident touch there. Couple occasions, one occasion I remember against Watford, he looked a bit rash, didn't he? But isn't that all goalkeepers? So I'm a bit loath to make any kind of judgments about him beyond what we've seen with him playing for Sheffield United for the last couple of seasons.
What I'm saying these aren't judgments. They're just, I'm trying to find something to talk about because there's nothing
Sure.
interesting to talk about. And there's a sort of slightly impressionistic feeling that he's very young and he's hardly played for United and there's a lot more to come. But it's, at this point, certainly not going, it'd be great if Dean Henderson was in the side instead of David De Gea. Like, there's no sense of that. And in fact, even, isn't it great that he's our cup keeper and not Romero? There isn't as yet, very, very early days, isn't as yet an obvious upgrade. I'm sure story-wise and potential-wise, it's a totally different proposition, but
yeah, we'll see. I mean, yes, fair enough. A good transition, though. I think from an older keeper to a younger keeper that we've got hope for in terms of this particular role. Now, there's another one to come if he's going to take over David De Gea's jersey. We'll see on that one. I mean, what I like about him is the confidence in the air. I mean, that punching or catching, he wants to command. I don't know whether he does that perfectly yet. There's a lack of experience there, but I think I like that tendency. Yeah. His reflexes are good. He's not pulled off a worldie yet, a David De Gea worldie. We'll see. I think everything that he's saved, you'd probably expect a top keeper to do. I'm trying to think of one where he's sort of overachieved. But his numbers for Sheffield United, he overachieved the average quite a bit. now. That's in a team where you'd expect to make a lot of saves. There's a different challenge for him at United for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not unhappy with him. We'll see that he's not really had a lot of time, and presuming he plays in the Europa, he's going to get a different challenge there.
Absolutely. Van der Beek, I saw a lot of praise for his tidiness and speed of moving the ball around and all the kind of things. I guess
flicks and tricks and sees around corners and stuff like that. It's what you expect from Van der Beek. Yeah. I don't know. He played at sort of 8 with this one, didn't he? And I'm not sure if that's his best position. Could he do more damage further forward at 10, where he played more of his time for Ajax? I mean, probably.
But we need to...
And certainly when he combined with Juan Mata, there were a couple of nice occasions.
We need to know what he can do as an 8, really, don't we? Because, the number 10 position at Manchester United is full. Like you say.
Fairly sealed. Yeah.
So it's... I mean, Solskjaer talked about how much he likes him as a player and that they've had conversations and, so all that's good. But, that one will run and run. And that's literally all I've got to say about the Watford game.
Yeah. I mean, Van der Beek, apart from the flicks and tricks, extremely efficient with his passing, 95% pass completion. I don't know what that says against... it's not like Watford were really pressing hard in the centre of midfield there, so it was fairly easy going. So they've got the talent, they've got to find out the right position there. He's got to learn to grow into this. And he's not a player, even at Ajax, that was sort of imposing himself on the game. That was Frankie de Jong's role at Ajax, and it won't be at United either if he plays at 8. So maybe it's set up for him. Maybe that'll frustrate fans. I don't know. We'll see.
It's it would be really nice to have a player that's kind of that engine, that recycling possession. I wonder whether over time, you could develop that player, especially with Carrick on the coaching staff, into a Michael Carrick alternative. It seems like...
Well, he played at 6 for Ajax as well. I mean, very flexible player. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to get the kind of ball winning off him.
No, of course. As you did not off Carrick.
Yeah, and do not off the man Matic as well. So. But you do get it off in some kind of combination, Fred and McTominay.
Yes, the classic current Man United problem of needing to have 2 players to do one player's job.
Quite, yeah. And I mean, McTominay had a different game, I think. It was like, although nominally he was the defensive player, he really put in a number 8's performance, didn't he? And he was the engine here. Another good performance from him on, getting the armband, and I think we're seeing good stuff from him. He's, again, not sure whether he's a 6 or an 8. Same with Fred, not sure whether he's a 6 or an 8. And it's a bit of balance problem that United definitely have.
Well, it's like neither of them are either. This is the problem, because with McTominay, he can't pass. Like, he can pass, but he's not
progressive passer for sure.
And with old Fred, Fred's big thing, I would say, is like biggest weakness in a way is just fluctuation of performance level. Good Fred and bad Fred are, they're quite far apart. But yeah, we don't need to really litigate United's midfield woes. They'll continue. And I mean, I did see. I know this is, I'm sort of hesitant to even comment on reaction to Man United, but my God, like, somebody put a comment on our Instagram after the City game saying, like, this is why Ole's got to go, his subs are rubbish. I'm like, you just already think he should go. There's no extra evidence from the semi-final against City that Solskjaer's got. With 33 points. Like, no one in the league has more points than us. We have the same number of points as the other team that's got the most points in the league. This isn't like Solskjaer not making a sub against City, where, like, I think I said this on the podcast. It wasn't like I could see that bench and see that thing and cry. This game's crying out for X or Y sub. We're just not at their level.
No, it was crying out for a change because we were not at their level and it wasn't working for us. But anyway, that's last week's game. Four subs he used yesterday, and I mean, Maguire had to come on, and then Rashford made an impression, didn't he? Just getting the ball and running with it. He opened up the game a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's one. There you go. I've thought of one other thing I thought after that game, which is Rashford is so close to being absolutely unbelievably brilliant. Like, he's really good, obviously. And is he our top scorer this season? No, it's probably Bruno, isn't it? It's always Bruno. But maybe Rashford second. He's scored, he's definitely up there with goals this season. And last season, he was pushing Martial all the way. And, he's just been good ever since he came onto the scene. But it just feels to me like he's thoughtful and he's learning and he's developing. Like, on Touchline Fracas, they've been talking a lot about how he's on Make United Great Again. They've been talking a lot about how his close control's improved. So that his kind of long-rangey dribbling's always been good, dribbling at pace. But he's got kind of improved the kind of twinkle toes stuff, which I think is true, actually. It feels really reductive to say like his decision making is something that needs to work on, because I don't even really know. I feel like you got to be almost a bit more specific, because it's not like he makes a lot of correct decisions in the match. There just seems to be there's just like one half a missing piece where he goes from being like really, really, really good to like, global, absolute, unquestioned icon, world team of the year kind of player. Maybe I'm just seeing it because I want to see it, but I feel like it's there somewhere.
Yeah, and I think it's little things, the right kind of decisions in the final third when he's got the ball, depending on where he finishes up as his kind of playing position. But I suspect he's always going to be a sort of utility forward. He can play across any of them. But he seems to be, 2 years ago, I'd have believed that going through the middle would be his best opportunity. Now I'm not so sure, because he's done so well as that kind of inside forward. And in that role, if he was playing wide left in a 4-4-2, I just wouldn't believe that would be his future at all. But as an inside forward in a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, it suits him well, and he seems to enjoy it. Dribbling, running with the ball, great. He's electric, and I don't care if some of it doesn't come off. I think that's much like Martial. I think you get more benefit than you lose having more players like that in your team, and not least penalties, which Bruno enjoys. And then the finishing. I mean, he's beating his XG in the Premier League this season. But if he goes from 2.7 shots per 90, which is what he's doing in the league, to 3.5 or 4, he's just going to score more goals. And that's a fairly simple calculation, but it's true as well. A player of his quality with, outperforming XG for the Premier League, that's what he needs to do if he wants to score 25 Premier League goals a season.
And it feels like this doesn't happen very often, but there's a non-trivial chance, like a non-zero chance, that he makes a leap where it goes 25 goals, 40 goals, because he absolutely gets it. Like, if you'd looked at Ronaldo in 2005, you'd have said, wouldn't it be amazing if he has a 20? I think it was 5-6 that he had a 25. No, it might have been. It was 6-7 that him and Rooney both got. I think the exact same number of goals. They got 25 goals each, and that at the time felt like, wow, this guy's really got it. And then the next season, and literally every year since, it's like, oh, now I score 100 goals a season every season, and I'm Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, I don't think that future is impossible for Rashford if he gets some stuff right. I mean, maybe the sort of miracle combination of drive, physiological abilities, and just kind of inner insanity of Ronaldo is missing in almost everyone. But I don't know. Yeah, this is completely rambly and ill thought out, but I was watching Rashford when he came on in this game thinking, there is one of the best players in the world in there somewhere, basically.
Yeah. And his contribution's already excellent. Yeah. His goals and assists per game is at about 0.75 across all competitions. So that is a forward who's contributing a lot.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about is making it 1, which would be elite, outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I guess that's nice to hear that, really, because it's almost like I'm not just being insane, because that contribution is growing and growing and growing, and you do wonder if there is an explosion coming at some point, but we'll see. Like, like cryptocurrency prices, they're bubbling and then they suddenly explode.
Yeah, I'd like him to not be quite as lumpy as that. So $40,000 for Bitcoin today, I'm not going to guarantee it's $40,000 for Bitcoin tomorrow, let alone in a week or a month.
Yeah, I know, but... Yeah.
I'd like Rashford to be good in a week and a month and 10 years.
Yeah, well, I think Bitcoin prices will be all right in 10 years, probably, depending on legislation. But anyway, that really is a whole nother conversation. All right, should we take a break and then come back and talk about Burnley?
Burnley.
If you want more from the show in between shows, check us out on the socials. We are NQAT Pod on Instagram, Ed's at NQAT Pod on Twitter, and we are under our real names on Facebook at No Question About That. So, with all due respect to Jimmy Anderson, I don't like talking about Burnley, just because of the combination of the way they play football, the fact that their fans flew a White Lives Matter banner over the stadium last season. I mean, the team were pretty horrified by that and talked about how it wasn't what they were about and all that sort of thing. But still, I just don't like Burnley. I'd quite like them to get relegated.
Yeah, and they might. 9 goals they've scored in the Premier League this season. 9.
They've only got one player in their squad who scored more than 1 goal in the Premier League this season. Chris Wood with 3. And then a bunch of players with 1. 6 players, I guess, can do the maths. 6 players with 1 goal each. Really bad, yet somehow not in the relegation zone because they've got enough points. And, that this is 'twas ever thus with Burnley in the Prem, I guess.
Yeah, they defy all the models. You shouldn't be able to be comfortable in the Premier League scoring 9 goals in 15 games. You just shouldn't. If they stay up with 30 goals scored this season, it'd be incredible, but they might well do. So, this is at Turf Moor, not that it matters anymore where anything is. And once upon a time, it was a hard place to go. But actually not true.
Yeah, never been a hard place to go. In fact, they've got like a really good record against us recently at Old Trafford. I think their last 2 games they beat us, and then the one before they drew, and they were 2-0 up and we pulled it back to a 2-2 draw. There was the J. Rodriguez one. I don't know if that was that game or the one that they won. But yeah, we beat them. It feels to me, and this is just based on, I think, 1 game, but it feels like we beat them 2-0 and Anthony Martial scores every time we go to Turf Moor. That's how it works in my head anyway.
Yeah, joy. So, I don't think this will be much of a spectacle. I think we know exactly what the pattern of the game is going to look like. This is going to be United pressing, as in pushing forward, not necessarily pressing. Burnley happy to sit back. They don't particularly have any real pace in the side to hit us on the break or cause us any particular problems there. It's going to be set pieces and individual chances, and it's can United break them down?
Can United get a penalty?
Can United get a penalty? It'd be nice if there was one in the first minute because it completely changed the complexion of the game, of course.
Worth saying that there is no doubt that Klopp and Mourinho are both definitely trying to get referees not to give United penalties. Like, that is...
Oh, yeah, talking about it all the time, yeah.
This is...
I don't know if that helps with VAR, though. I'm not sure that the kind of mind games... it does to an extent that you have the kind of cricket DRS problem where if the referee gives it, the VAR has got to find a reason to overturn it, and the referee doesn't give it, they're probably not going to overturn it unless it's really obvious. It's a bit of a club there, and so maybe the tricks work, but there's an extra layer of security if that's what we need. In that, if the ref on the field's a coward, then we can go to Stockley Park and those fine fellas with the TVs will sort us out.
Yeah, possibly so. I know this is a point that's been made everywhere, and I'm pretty sure we've talked about it. But all these people moaning about United getting too many penalties, it's like, doesn't this just tell you that for years and years and years and years and years and years and years, Man United have been hard done by for penalties because they've invented a thing that makes it more likely the decision's right, and now we get the penalties we've been deserving all along. Perhaps Ferguson-era home games might be excluded from that analysis. Anyway, what do you think the starting 11's going to be? So I think that he said Pogba and Lindelof were injured ahead of that game. Maybe one other person as well. But I wonder, I don't think we know anything about severity or anything like that. I wonder if we'll just get...
No, I mean, he didn't do a press conference today, did he? So it'll be Monday. There'll be a press conference with the team used for Burnley, and we'll see whether they're okay or not. I mean, it's Lindelof's back that he's had the problem with, and I'm presuming Bailly's not fit. We may see Tuanzebe again if neither are available. And Pogba, I mean, he started a whole bunch recently in this diamond, and Solskjaer's experimenting with it to see if it's a way he can get all his players into the side all at the same time. So perhaps, I mean, he's fit. It kind of, the signs point to it. I don't know whether you would need the double pivot against Burnley, a team that scored 9 goals.
I mean, yeah, he could just play one of... I wonder whether we'll see Matic and maybe even the Matic-Pogba combination. Matic-Pogba, Fernandes, Rashford, Greenwood, and Martial. Greenwood got taken off against... It's Watford.
Cavani's back as well.
Yeah,
so
great.
We could have Rashford on the right, Martial on the left, and Cavani through the middle. Against he might well go with that one, actually. Just thinking about how set pieces may be important and Burnley's physical-ish approach.
Yeah, and just great to have Cavani back as an option, even if he doesn't start. Like Cavani coming off the bench if it's 0-0 after 60 minutes. It's got to be fairly terrifying prospect.
I think I'd put money on that happening far more than Greenwood starting. Greenwood's confidence seems a little low at the moment. So he's not even shooting as much as he used to. And I'm not worried about it. I see some ridiculous stuff on social media. So he's a young player, not a lot of football. Often they have these dips. Let's not freak out. His talent's there. But for me, just the short-term form points to Cavani if he's sharp, fit, ready, probably coming in. But that'd be my guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's an excellent guess. And yeah, I mean, I think it seems reasonable to do a short podcast. I imagine that we'll have quite a lot of content to talk about in the next 2 league games. And one thing we should obviously say is that this game is absolutely crucial. And if we get points from this, then we're top of the league.
Oh, that'd be sweet, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be
nice
sweet?
just to see.
When do Liverpool play again?
They play us
before.
It's when they play us.
They don't play. Huh? How do they get a week off? Shocking, outrageous.
Well, this is the game that we would. This is game week 1. Basically, it's our game week 1 game, isn't it? So, and I think it's the only. Oh no, there are other games happening in midweek, but that's from a different match day, and Liverpool are missing that match day. So yeah, Liverpool somehow get a week off.
Classic Liverpool, bending the rules. No, yes. Anyway, look, comfortable win for United. Hopefully, it's on Tuesday night, which is good because we've got Tuesday to Sunday, so 5 days off.
Yeah.
Before that Liverpool game, get everyone fresh. And
worth saying that, literally a draw and we go top of the league because Leicester aren't playing either.
Yeah. So Liverpool games at Anfield or Old Trafford?
Old Trafford.
Old Trafford. Yeah, they come to
Anfield.
Champions elect.
Anfield.
We go to champions as champions elect, top of the league.
I mean, listen, we'll talk about this in a week's time. If we've won, but if United win these next 2 games, we're having a serious conversation about the league title because we have to.
Yeah,
but that's a big if.
Yeah.
Starting,
it is a big if. It's big if, especially since we've seen quite a lot over the last few years. Fixtures like this one against Burnley be our banana
Yeah,
skin.
absolutely. And also quite a lot over the last few years, fixtures like the one against Liverpool being a banana skin too. So either one of these could be a banana skin. But we've also seen United win both of these sorts of games. We've seen them play really well in these sorts of games as well under Ole and not that long ago. So I think there's plenty of cause for hope. Really hope that the loss to City and the sort of stuttering second 11 performance against Watford hasn't negatively affected momentum. In a way, I'm sort of glad that there's Burnley in between that and Liverpool, because a good performance against Burnley would be a fantastic thing to be going into that Liverpool game off the back of. So up the Ruddy Reds, I say.
Very good. Yeah, good luck. Reds prediction score-wise?
2-0, Martial to score.
Wow. I'm going to go for I was going to say 2-1, but the one, where's the one coming
statistically
from?
Unlikely. 2 to 0.5 is much more statistically likely then.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for United in that case. I hope it's a good performance though, because another bit meh would be 3 in a row, and that wouldn't be great for our momentum. But we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's just loads of goals in that team. And I think off the back of the last 2 games, it's easy to be a bit like meh. But really, leading up to the last 2 games, it's been really quite feel good and quite good. And I do think they'll be more up for the league stuff than they were for the cup stuff. I'm sure they were up for the semi-final as much as they could be, but they were just outplayed in the end in that game in the fine details, which I doubt will be the case against Burnley. If we lose this, we'll have had to play really badly, which is of course entirely possible, but
Backers, stay tuned. We're going to talk a little bit about the state of football, and everyone else will see you on Friday.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.